She She has her Empower You that I'm sure she'll talk about. That's been awesome. I've done a lot of her live Zoom workouts on Saturdays lately, which have been kicking my butt. And my son has even jumped in on them with me, and it's been so much fun, and the energy is amazing. So I am super excited to have her come and talk with us. And over to you, Jenny.
Yay. Well, thank you so much. I'm so grateful to just be able to hop on these calls because I love, diving a little bit deeper into mindset and habit creation and discipline and what it takes to really be successful in health, in fitness, but also in business and other aspects of your life. So I wanted to share some of my top tips on success when it comes to achieving your goals. And these tips can really be applied to any aspect of your life. But before I get into those, I want to quickly share with you guys my story and how I got here, because I think it can be quite inspiring, considering I had no idea how to eat healthy, and I struggled with weight and body dysmorphia for most of my life. So I want to share kind of my journey with you. Growing up, I was a dancer, didn't do any other sport, but go into dance class every single day. And it was my dream to become a professional dancer. And so I moved to LA to pursue that career. And I quickly learned how hard it was to actually make a living as an artist. If there's any singers or actors or dancers on this call, you understand how hard it is to actually make it. And especially with LA being such a saturated city, I found myself comparing myself and competing against hundreds, if not thousands of people when I would go to these auditions. And our auditions would be like cattle calls. 400 to 500 dancers would show up to these auditions to be a backup dancer for Lady Gaga or be in Rihanna's next music video. And so in order to cut people really quickly, basically we would stand in line and we would be wearing like the skimpiest little sports bras and the shortest little short shorts. And they would look at you from head to toe. And then they would go to you and say either of two things, either please stay or please go. And I can't even tell you how many times I heard please go. Imagine being a young 20-year-old hearing that you weren't good enough, you weren't maybe skinny enough or tall enough or white enough to be successful as a dancer. And so I basically thought my body was a lot bigger than it was. And I did every extreme diet in order to lose the weight. Definitely didn't know what body dysmorphia meant at the time, and it definitely wasn't as popularized as it is today, but I thought I was a lot bigger than I was. And I aggressively underate, maybe 600 to 800 calories a day. I would over-exercise, spend 2 hours at the gym, just running myself down to the ground on a treadmill or an elliptical. And as you could imagine, I was breaking my body down, but also not getting any results. And I was like, what gives? I am working so hard at this. You would think that I would get results, but I wasn't. And so that really catapulted me into learning more about health and fitness. And there was one day when I was lazily sitting on a couch and I saw an infomercial pop up, and it was Shaun T's T25 program. If anyone was around during that time, it was an awesome infomercial for sure. And I looked at those fit bodies, and keep in mind, I wasn't a workout person at the time. I never really touched a dumbbell at the time. And I looked at those people and I was like, I want to do that. I have no idea how to work out. I don't know one thing about fitness, but I want to do that. And so that sparked my dream to transition my dance career into a fitness career. I ended up buying the program. I ended up completing it, getting incredible results. I became a Beachbody coach for 3 years and started building a career in fitness. I would go to different gyms and teach classes, started training clients, then started got a certification in coaching for nutrition and weight loss. And so I was hustling, trying to build an online brand at the same time, but was failing miserably. I've created so many different programs that you will never even know exist because they're in the virtual trash because they were just crap. And it wasn't until the pandemic when I lost everything. As you all know, gyms shut down and we had no idea when we were coming back. I lost all streams of income, wasn't doing my online business, broke up with a boyfriend, moved back home with the parents. And it was at that lowest of low when I decided to kind of put my foot in the sand, so to speak, and say, you know what, there's literally nothing else for me to lose at this point because I literally lost it all. Why don't we just go all in on this dream? I still had that dream to become a fitness star, right? That was my dream, to become a fitness star. And so I started putting myself out there. I started a YouTube channel, was creating classes, filming them, putting them on YouTube without an audience. I was posting on TikTok 5 times a day when TikTok was still weird and like 10-year-olds were using it. I was doing all the things and was just putting myself out there. I ended up booking a gig with Beachbody. It was just a modeling photo shoot to simply sit on a bike and smile and look pretty. And I ended up talking to an executive there, and I had no idea who he was or what he was working on or anything, but we started building rapport. And he's like, I'm working on a project. I would love to see your stuff. And I'm like, okay, I have no idea who you are. I know you're someone special, but yeah, let me send in my stuff. And luckily I had a huge archive of YouTube videos that I had already created for weeks and months prior, sent him my stuff. And then I ended up auditioning for what is now BODi. I ended up booking the gig, and now I am considered a founding member with BODi. And it's truly a full circle moment to be here because I started my fitness journey with Beachbody, had a lot of ups and downs for an entire decade, and now I'm back to BODi, but in a different way. And it is truly, 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 truly a dream come true to be able to teach the classes that I teach on this platform. And it's just so amazing to remember the person who I was sitting on a couch, not knowing a clue about fitness and dreaming of the day to be on an infomercial and do the things that I do now. So I'm just very, very grateful for this opportunity. And I just want to kind of sum up my story with Oprah's quote. And she says, luck is simply preparation meeting opportunity. And so I don't think it was luck at all. It was simply years and years and years and years of preparation and also failure and learning to get to this place where I am at now. So let that be a reminder to never give up on your dreams, never give up on your goals, keep going. Sometimes the path isn't laid out for you. But if you just literally keep showing up, you will get there. The only way you will fail is by quitting. So I'm going to go into the top 5 tips for success. And the first one is to create a SMART goal. Now, we all know what that means, a SMART goal. But I know it's simple and it's basic, but so often people do not do this. They do not create a specific, measurable, and I do change the words here, specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, and time-bound goal. And this is why people fail, because so often, right, we set New Year's resolutions to lose weight, get toned, whatever, but we never set a deadline for it. We never set a path for it. We never measure our progress. And so people are left with the same exact goal, the same situation year after year, and nothing changes. So in order to combat that, we got to make sure that we're creating specificity around the goal. So I'm going to apply these principles to both health and fitness and business. So when it comes to creating specificity, think about with health and fitness, how much weight do you want to lose? Is it 10 pounds? Is it 50 or is it 100? If you don't care about the weight, then maybe you need to get very clear on, maybe it's a pant size you're aiming for. Maybe you have, a reunion coming up and you want to fit in a certain bathing suit or jean size. If it's not that, is it body composition? Is it you're okay with your weight, but you just want to build more muscle and reduce your body fat? And if that's the case, then maybe we should be focusing on a body composition goal rather than a weight loss goal. So being very clear on the intention and on the objective is very important. Same with business. Getting very clear on what it is you actually want. Is it a monetary goal? Is it a six-figure business? Is it, to just have an extra $100 a week? Is it to build a team? Getting very clear on the outcome is going to be so important, because it's going to create the roadmap to success. The second thing is it needs to be measurable. Think about all big businesses, Google, Meta, Apple. They all have what is called KPIs, key performance indicators, to help them know whether or not they're making progress. And so we need to create that same idea for ourselves. We need to have KPIs. We need to have metrics to see whether or not we're making progress. So when it comes to your health and fitness goals, what should we be measuring that is in alignment with our goal? So if it is weight loss, the most obvious is we should probably be hopping on the scale. And how frequent should we be doing this? Is it daily? Is it weekly, monthly? What's best for you? If it's body composition, maybe we should be measuring our body fat percentage. Maybe we should be measuring how much weight we should be lifting each and every week and increasing it. So making sure that your measurements are in alignment with the goal is going to be particularly helpful. When it comes to business, what should we be measuring there? If your goal is to earn an extra $500 a month, how many people do we need to be talking to? How many follow-ups do we need to be doing daily? How many posts do we need to be posting on social media, right? So understanding what metrics you should be tracking is important, and following through with it, creating a good frequency to determine, are we making progress or do we need to change things? Do we need to add or subtract? Do we need to change it or figure out a new metric to measure? The third tip is to make sure that it's action oriented. I like, for every goal that I create in my life, I like to create a mind dump of at least 20 potential opportunities or actions that I could take to reach the goal. And it's not because I'm going to do all 20 things. It's because it helps my brain see all of the different things or solutions or, actions I can take to achieve this goal. And here's what I mean by that. When it comes to weight loss, often so many people want to lose X amount of weight, 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 50, whatever. But they only focus on two strategies. They focus on eating less or moving more, or a combo of both. That's it. And how many of us get stuck? We hit a plateau and we don't know what gives, and we just keep doing the same thing over and over again. But what if you consider other alternative options or solutions? What I'm saying is, weight loss doesn't just is not affected just by diet and fitness alone. Sleep plays a huge role. Stress management plays a huge role. Your environment plays a huge role. And if you just focused on eating less and moving more, you wouldn't realize that, hey, maybe your sleep sucks right now. And that's why you have a lot of fat carrying around your midsection, because studies show less sleep means high cortisol, means bigger waistline. So just know that there are other options that you may not be considering when it comes to achieving your goals. So making sure that you come up with all the different opportunities or actions. And if you don't know all of them, go seek out support, go get help, Google it, figure out a way to make it happen. And then the last thing is to make sure that it's realistic with a time-bound deadline that you set. And this is so, so, so important. And this is why all goals without a deadline, they're simply wishes, right? A goal without a deadline is simply a wish. If you don't put a deadline and don't put pressure around that deadline, you're not going to take action. You're not going to do it. This is what I did when I set a goal for myself. During the pandemic, I was about 20 pounds heavier than where I am now. And so keep in mind, for years prior, I struggled with losing just five, right? But I struggled with it. And it's because I never set a deadline for myself. So I was like, okay, Jenny, I'm tired of this. Let's try to lose 10 pounds. And let's try to lose it in a matter of 3 months. I gave myself time to do this. And I put some pressure around that deadline. I ended up investing in a photo shoot. I had to put money down. And by the time the photo shoot would be over, it would have been, $1,500 with the outfits and the hair and the makeup and all of that. And so that was enough pressure for me to take action on it. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to waste my money. I'm very frugal. I didn't want to come out with really bad pictures. And so that gave me the fuel to go for it. And what ended up happening is not only did I lose the 10 pounds, but I was on such a roll that I just kept going. And I ended up losing 20 in the 3 months that I gave myself. So that's the power of putting pressure around your goal. So maybe it's not, you're not going to invest in a photo shoot, but how can you put a pain point? Maybe like, what's the consequence for you not achieving this goal? I have one of my clients. I literally just got off the phone yesterday. She's going on a girls' trip, I think in June. And we're setting a goal to have her lose 5 pounds by her girls' trip. She loves her girls' trip. And if she doesn't lose the weight by then, she's going to cancel her trip. She's not going to go. And what's even more painful about this, or the way she's becoming more invested in this, is she's communicating it to her girlfriends. So she's on the hook. She's on the hook with me. She's on the hook with her girlfriends. And so she's going to make it happen. I know she will. But if we didn't set that deadline and that pressure and that pain and consequence behind it, she won't do it. She won't do the things necessary. So making sure that you have that deadline is super important. The second thing is to reframe failure as a gift. Reframe failure as a gift. I tell my clients before we start working together that they should expect to fail. I tell them that they should expect weight gain. They should expect fluctuation. They should expect maybe a plateau. They should expect backtracking. And the reason why is because success is never linear. Weight loss and weight gain is never linear. On a macro, let's take, for example, my weight loss journey. On a macro level, if you looked back monthly or yearly at my progress, you would see a straight line of weight loss going down. But if you zoom in and go to the day-to-day weight fluctuations, you would see up, down, steady, 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 up, down, steady, steady. And so there was a lot of fluctuation from the day-to-day, but I was still making progress. And so I think the reason why people give up on their goals too quickly is because as soon as they see 1 pound go up or a plateau, they think it's not working. But you're just not sticking it out long enough. You're just not staying consistent enough for a long enough time. You have to let your body do its thing, and you have to allow and expect for those plateaus and those seasons of the journey where you will backtrack a little bit. You might be going up when you want it to go down. And so I think we should just equip ourselves with this mindset in business and in life that it's never going to always be successful. Like, you will never have a straight shot up the mountain. You will have roadblocks. You will have slowdowns. You will have U-turns and detours. That is a part of the process. You cannot have success without failure. So expect failure and reframe it as a gift or a lesson or an opportunity. So ask yourself, the next time you have a challenge, the next time you have a failure, what am I supposed to learn from this? What is the lesson here? What is the gift? How am I supposed to, how do I move forward from this? Instead of using a victim mindset, take on a growth mindset and understand this challenge right here can either stop you in your tracks or let it be education. It's literally free education on what not to do. So if you fail, you now know what not to do. And now maybe you have another idea on what to do, right? I dealt with yo-yo dieting my entire life. I failed so many times. And I felt like such an imposter because, as I started my fitness career, I was dealing with weight loss issues. And then I was helping clients and telling them advice and telling them what to do to lose weight. Yet I was the one who was also dealing with the challenge, right? Does anyone feel like an imposter sometimes where you're showing up, but you're still struggling? Yeah. And so I had a life coach just a few years ago, and I told her my pain about that issue because I was like, why am I still dealing with weight loss issues? I should know by now. I have the education, I have the training, I should know. Yet I'm still struggling over here. And so she basically said, this is a gift. You don't see it yet. You don't know it yet. But as soon as you overcome this issue, as soon as you find that breakthrough, this is going to be the very thing that's going to help you attract the clients that want to work with you. Because as soon as you break through this challenge, you're going to have firsthand experience on how to overcome this issue. And so you won't have to spit out advice that you learned from a textbook. You know firsthand what it feels like to emotionally eat and to stress eat and to deal with weight gain and weight plateaus. And so you'll know how to coach your clients down the line. And I didn't know it at the time, but it truly is now an asset. It is an asset for me, and it helps me attract the people that I want to work with because I know exactly what they're dealing with and I know how to help them overcome it. So just know that your failures, while you feel like you're in a struggle bus right now and you don't know why it's happening to you or why it's hard, just understand you are in the middle of it. You're in the thick of it, and know that the only way to go is up, right? Sometimes you have to experience the lowest of lows for you to make a change and for you to figure it out. So embrace the suck, embrace the failure. And I promise you, in hindsight, you'll understand why you were experiencing it. The third tip is to focus on process-based goals, not outcome-based goals. There is a difference between the two. So outcome-based goals are what you imagine. It's running the 5K. It's hitting, fitting into the size 8 jeans. It's hitting 10K months or something like that. That's the outcome. And while those are necessary and great because it gives you this mile marker of what to envision for your life, don't focus on that on the day-to-day. Because you don't have control over the outcome, right? If I were to step on the scale today, and if I were to step on the scale tomorrow, I have no control over what number is going to show up. I don't. But I do have control over my actions. I do have control over the process. So what I want you to focus on is action-based goals or process-based goals. They're interchangeable. I don't have control over my weight. but I do have control over what I decide to eat tonight for dinner. I don't have control over my weight, but I do have control over how I move my body. I don't have control over how much money I'm going to make by the end of this year, but I do have control over my schedule and what I decide to work on each and every day. So when you focus on the process and the actions, you'll eventually get to the outcome. So try not to obsess about the end weight loss goal or the amount of revenue you're going to earn in your business. Yes, set that goal, sure, set the intention for it, but get down and dirty, get into the action, get into the process, and you'll eventually get there. Number 4, confidence is an energy, not a pant size. Confidence is an energy, not a pant size. This is so important because so often people set fitness and weight loss goals because they think that as soon as they reach their goal, they're all of a sudden going to then feel confident about themselves. They're all of a sudden going to then feel self-approving, self-loving, feel better about themselves, right? When we hit a certain financial goal, we think that we're going to start to feel abundant or secure or free or stable. But coming from firsthand experience, when I got to my lowest adult weight, I didn't change my mindset with that weight loss, and I was still insecure. I was still anxious. I still wanted to hide my body, and I still saw in the mirror all of my flaws. Even though I thought that weight loss goal would have made me happy, I still wasn't happy. And so I realized that what I really want behind this goal is a feeling. It's an energetic state. And what's so cool about that is we can have that feeling now before we achieve the weight loss goal or the financial goal. We can have those feelings of confidence and self-love and self-acceptance, security, freedom, wealth, abundance. We can have those things now. How do you have those things now? You have to act on them. You have to treat those things as if it's a verb. So you know that, like, I don't know if you've heard this, but like love is a verb. When they say like, what does it take to have a healthy relationship long-term? They say act on love. Love is a verb. You have to keep doing the things that helped you fall in love with your partner. If you just, leave them and not prioritize the relationship, the relationship will fade. So you have to keep showing up. You have to keep doing those things. Same with confidence, same with abundance, same with self-love. Those are verbs. Obviously they're nouns, but they're verbs. So act on it. How can you start being more confident today? I remember I have dealt with like self-esteem issues for a while, for most of my adult life. And so a few years ago, I asked myself, on the top of a journal page, I wrote, what do confident people do? Because I wasn't confident myself. I was very shy and insecure. So I just asked myself, what do they do? And I came up with some responses. And some of my responses were like, confident people don't wear black all the time. They wear bright, bold colors, form-fitted clothes. They're willing to stand out. They're willing to speak up first in a big, crowd or a big group. They're not afraid to show themselves. They might not have the perfect body, but it seems like they don't care. Like they're just okay with being who they are. And I looked at myself and I looked at my wardrobe and I'm like, oh my God, all I have are black clothes. And all of my shirts are baggy because I want to hide behind them. And so from that day forward, I was like, I'm going to do what confident people do. I'm going to start wearing bright, bold colors. I'm going to start speaking up. I'm going to start trying out taking a shirt off and just wearing a sports bra, even though I was working out at home. That was uncomfortable for me. But I was like, I think confident people just wear sports bras and they're okay with it. So I started doing what I thought confident people did. And there wasn't a particular day where I could tell you that all of a sudden I got confident, but it was a gradual progression. As I kept doing the reps, as I kept doing the actions that I thought confident people do, I just became more confident. So how can you apply that in your life? What do you want out of the goal that you have? Is it happiness? Is it confidence? Is it feeling sexy? Can you start acting on that now? If you want to feel sexy, why are you wearing baggy shirts and shorts all the time? Go get some lingerie. Go get something silky smooth, right? Start doing those things and start getting into that energy. And I promise you, once you focus on the internal change, the external change starts to happen right before your eyes. It's usually the internal work that has to happen before the external reality starts to match it. And then the last thing is to create an alter ego and act as if you're already her or him. So I like to talk about the story about Beyonce, because I love Beyonce. She has a great little story. She grew up getting her vocal training by singing in gospel choirs. So you can imagine she was a very conservative, shy, reserved woman growing up. So as she began to get famous with Destiny's Child and then started to branch off to do her own thing, she found herself very anxious and insecure when going on stage to perform in front of hundreds of thousands of people. And so what she ended up doing was she created an alter ego and she named her Sasha Fierce. Anyone know Sasha Fierce or are familiar with it? It's an album she created. I'm pretty sure she talks about it in some of her past songs. But she would step into this fake character that she literally created in her mind, and she would embody the energy and the aura and the wardrobe of this version of her that wasn't naturally her. She just imagined who she thought she needed to be in order to perform in front of a sold out crowd. And so I love that example because I think we can all create alter egos for ourselves. Because sometimes your big audacious goal is so far away and so removed from your current reality that it's hard for you to imagine the current day you actually achieving that goal. Like for someone who has been overly obese for most of their life, it can be pretty difficult to imagine you being 100 pounds lighter, right? Like if you've never experienced that, it can be very difficult. But we know it can happen, right? We've seen it in all of those before and after photos. We know it's possible. So if it's hard for you to envision yourself actually achieving that goal, imagine a different version of you achieving that goal. Ask yourself, who do I need to become in order to reach this goal? What new standards do I need to create in my life in order to reach my goal? Because whether you know it or not, whether you like it or not, your current standards, meaning your day-to-day actions, your behaviors, your thoughts, your attitude, how you spend your day, your standards are giving you the life that you have right now. And if you like your life, great. That's fine. You don't need to change your standards. But if you desire for more, if you want more, if you feel like something's lacking, then it's time to raise your standards. It's time to raise your habits. It's time to raise your thoughts and your attitude. So think about the version of you who is worthy of achieving the goal. So if your goal is to lose 100 pounds, ask yourself, what does my day need to look like? Like the version of me who lost 100 pounds, what does she eat? What does she drink? How does she order food at restaurants? What does she do in social settings? What is she watching or not watching? How does she spend her evenings? How does she spend her workday? Like, what does she do for lunch breaks? Like, is she going on walks, or is she just sitting on her chair all day? So ask yourself all those specific details on who that elevated version of you needs to be, and start becoming those things. Start doing those things. Over time, you'll eventually get there. For me, I'll just share one example of how I did this for myself. Is a few years ago, before BODi, there's nothing wrong with this, but I was a very average instructor. Average body, average health and fitness routine, average eating habits, average teaching quality, average, just average. And that's fine. But I wanted more. I wanted to be the fitness superstar. And so I had to ask myself, if I were to become a fitness superstar, what do I need to change in my current life? How do I need to be eating? How do I need to be spending my weekdays and my weekends? Who should I be hanging out with? What connections and networking should I be doing? How should I be showing up on social media? So I started coming up with those answers for myself, and I started doing those things. And as a result of that, my reality is in alignment with that alter ego that I thought about just a few years ago. And so that's just the power of setting a clear intention for what you want and doing those things now. And eventually the world catches up. The world catches up. You'll start to attract the people that are meant for you as customers or partners. The relationships will start to shift as a result of you changing. Your career advancements will start to be coming as a result of your attitude and your work ethic, etc. So that is the last and final tip. I hope that's helpful. And then the last thing that I want to share with you guys is I offer free motivational text messages every Monday. So if you'd like to be on that list, and it's just a great way to kind of set your mindset up for success for the week. Sometimes I'll do like a fitness tip or a nutrition tip or just a mindset tip. You can text me. I put the number in the chat. Text me the word BODi and I will add you to the list. So that's it. If you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
So, what is your alter ego?
It's simple. I just told myself, I'm Jenny J, the fitness superstar. That's it. That's all I needed to just tap into that version of me. And on a daily basis, I would ask myself, what does Jenny J, the fitness superstar, eat for dinner? Like, what time does she wake up? When is she working out every day? Is she getting it in like first thing, or is she procrastinating? And so I would ask that question, and it would help me decide what I should do moving forward, right? Because there's so many different micro decisions in life, right? Like today, I have a micro decision on what to eat for dinner, right? I can choose a healthy chicken dish, or I can go grab some In-N-Out right now. Like there's pizza down the street. That's a micro decision. And so I just asked myself, what does Jenny J Fitness, the fitness superstar, do? And she eats the chicken.
Can you speak on the energy of tough love as a leader? Being a leader and leading clients, or, those of us who are partners, leading our partners. Can you speak on tough love, or give us a little tip about the energy of tough love?
I think it's just a matter of helping your partners or your team understand the repercussions of their actions, right? I'm just going to try to relate this to my clients. So I work with one-on-one clients. And so some people just don't follow through with their homework assignments. Like sometimes I tell people to, eat a certain amount of protein and they just don't do it. And they don't get results because they're not following through. And so I just show them, or I help them understand that by you not changing, by you not doing this, it's leading to X result. Because of this, because of X, it's equaling to Y. Like this is happening as a result of that. So do you want this? If you do, then we have to start changing your habits. We have to start changing your actions, making sure that it's in alignment with your goal. So it's just a matter of kind of just like showing them, okay, well, here's the result of what you're doing. And then reminding them of their goal. Like, is this what you really want? Do you want to keep struggling? Do you want to keep this narrative of you not being able to lose weight? Like, how much longer do you want to deal with this pain? Because so many people deal with issues for years. How much longer do you want to deal with this? Like, aren't you fed up? Aren't you fed up with this story? Like, are you ready for real change? And if so, are you ready to do the work? Because we all know that famous quote, right? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So either stay the same, do exactly what you're doing, knowing that next year, 5 years down the road, you're going to be exactly where you are or worse if you keep this up. Or we can start making some simple changes and we can start moving the needle forward in the right direction. So I think it's giving them perspective, asking them, okay, if you keep doing this, what is life going to look like a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Helping them connect to the pain of staying the same, right? If you keep eating the burgers, if you keep drinking soda, where are you going to end up 10 years from now? And so helping them just connect to that can hopefully initiate some change.
Thank you so much. I was just writing so fast. I'm so happy this is recorded. That was wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I guess another question is, when you were talking about the confidence catching up with when you've lost weight. I have lost a significant amount of weight, but I still see that same person in the mirror. And my husband keeps asking me that question of, when are you going to get the confidence to see you how I see you now? When do you get that?
Oh man, it's a journey. It's
It
an
is.
evolution. Yeah, I don't think we ever, I don't think life is ever meant for us to have perfect conditions. I think we're always meant to just grow and work on ourselves. So just know that you're in the evolution of yourself, of loving yourself and approving of yourself. For me, I had to do therapy. I had to do daily meditation. I would literally go on YouTube and type in what I needed for that day. So maybe it was, I am confident meditation. I am like self-love meditation, right? So I would literally just start my day with a meditation. And that really helped me, because in the very beginning, I didn't believe any of the words that were being said on the video. But over time, I started to actually believe it, and it started to become true for me. So I loved meditation. I did it for like a whole year when I was in my like transformation, my confidence transformation. But then also changing what you're saying in your head. So every single time you look in the mirror, you can be honest and ask yourself, what am I saying to myself currently? Is it, oh, you look terrible today? Like, oh, those jeans look terrible, right? So just like being aware of what the language is that you're saying, and then choosing a different affirmation, choosing a different thought. So as soon as you catch yourself saying, you look bad, tell yourself, you know what? I look great today, or these jeans are fitting more comfortably today. Yeah, it might not be the best thing to just like force yourself to say, you look sexy, you look sexy, you look sexy, and then you don't believe it. You're like, you're stupid. Like your subconscious is never going to change if you just force it upon yourself. But try to find a truthful, positive affirmation. Like, okay, maybe it's not, the jeans working, but my face looks really clear today. My acne cleared up. Like, yay. So just training your mindset to focus a little bit more on like a positive thing and keep making that a habit.
One of the things a girlfriend of mine did, she had a full-length mirror. She stood at the wall behind it and had her husband with a pencil draw where she was. And then she took painter's tape and outlined it. And then as she lost the weight, she would stand in the mirror and see how much she had lost and changed on that physical size as she changed. So that might be something that would work too, to help boost your confidence.
That's interesting. That's awesome.
One other thing I would like to know is, when are you going to be on BODi next? And also, can you just tell everybody a little bit about Empower You? I've gotten a lot of messages about it, and you've talked about it a lot, and I've seen a lot of it, but I don't know if any of them all know about the Empower You that you have.
Yeah, I'm on BODi tomorrow. So if you want to take my Cycle 30 all-terrain class, it's at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then I'll be there next week to teach more cycle classes. Empower You is my private community membership, where real women with real bodies connect and stay accountable to their goals, and just it's a resource and a hub and a safe space for people to just share the ups and downs of the health and fitness journey, because it's a long one and it's a lonely one. And sometimes, you're the only person trying to change, and the rest of your family and your spouse and your friends just don't get it. And so it's just a great community to hold yourself accountable to your health and fitness goals. A lot of BODi members are a part of it. Gives them access to a private app where you can do daily challenges. We do virtual meetups with live workouts over Zoom, workshops. We're doing a meal prepping and planning workshop this Friday. And then you get access to all of my digital programs that I offer. So I offer a nutrition course, a digital cookbook, and my own fitness platform. So if you're looking for more Jenny J workouts, I have an entire platform dedicated to just workouts that I've created. So you get access to all of that. And it's just the best fitness community ever. So if you're interested, you can check it out. I'll put the link in the chat, and it's open until Friday. And then we close our doors for, I think, like 6 months. So please, if you're interested, you are more than welcome to check it out, and you can DM me on Instagram if you guys have any questions.
Well, thank you so much. I don't know if anyone else has any questions tonight, but I so appreciate you jumping on this call with us tonight, and my team and my ladies, and it was awesome and informative, and I loved it.
Yay. Thank you so much. Don't be afraid to reach out to me. I'm an open door, so you can text me. It's really me texting back. And yeah, good luck, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was amazing.
Thank you. See you guys. Bye.